Yes, we are live now. Good evening, friends. Vanakkam, Vandam, Namaste. Welcome all. Again, another good Friday evening here. So, we have an amazing guest in front of us, Mr. Hema Manu Anand. Hema ji from Melbourne to Madras, and with so many hours of coaching, I'm really excited to have you here. But I will stop here. I won't talk more about you. Please introduce about yourself. It is really interesting to hear about you from your own words.
Hi, thank you for that, Deepak. That's a sweet and short introduction about me.
Yes.
My name is Hema Manu Anand, and I originally I am from Chennai, born in Andhra and Tirunelveli, parents from Andhra and Tirunelveli. And as soon as I finished my graduation, which was in physiotherapy, I went to Melbourne, and there I
Mhm.
lived there for 13 years. During the second half of my tenure in Melbourne, I kind of realized the power of communication, the power of our mind, and I changed my career and I became a coach, a life coach. I did a lot of training in Melbourne, and then I came back to India in 2013. I started my business in training and coaching, and I haven't stopped learning. I still do at least one training per year with the best of the best, and my whole career is about transforming people's life,
Mhm.
not by giving answers, but helping them find the answers they are seeking. And I've got more
Okay.
than 3,000 training and more than 1,000 hours of coaching experience.
Okay. Interesting, pretty interesting, Hema. So, again, coming back to the career shift you mentioned from physiotherapy to psychology, what was that one particular spark which made you get into this field? What was it that encouraged you, or say like, what attracted you, or why do you love it? Getting into this part.
Physiotherapy is a great profession as well. I Soon after I finished physio in Melbourne, I actually started working for corporates for different companies as an injury management advisor, which somebody needs
Hmm.
to have physio or medical background. That's what I was doing, and
Okay.
I was going through some personal trauma in my life back in 2010,
Uh-huh.
and I like all the skills I've learned in my life, despite that, I was feeling very insecure. I was feeling like I don't have control over life and I can lose everything any moment. And
Hmm.
I did not know who to look up to. I did have psychology counseling sessions. All of them helped external.
Okay.
They made me feel better for a while, but I would still go back to the way I used to be. So one time, one of my friends at work used to help me a lot. Like she would just throw this one liner that would just make me feel better. So
Okay.
she told me this is where she learned from this institute, and it's called the Coaching Institute in Melbourne. So I
Uh-huh.
called them, and there I spoke with a lady called Sherin Bowers. I still have a lot of respect for her and thank her to this day. I told her I'm going through a very bad time and I need someone to coach me. And she said, call me around 7 o'clock tonight and I'll have a chat with you. And from 7 to 8:30, that was one of the best conversations I had in my life. One of the
Uh-huh.
best. And I
Uh-huh.
felt so powerful after that conversation that the very next day I could feel that there was just lightness in my body, this
Uh-huh.
lightness in my head. And I thought, if I can get this in one night, what will happen if I do a course and I become really good at it for my personal use? So I
Okay.
didn't even have the money, to be honest with you, but I went to the
Hmm.
institute straight and I said, I want to do this course. I want to do
Okay.
whatever Sharon Bowers did. So I did
Okay.
this, register for this 2-year diploma. As part of the course, you need to work with other people,
Uh-huh.
and that kind of like changed my life big time. And the journey didn't stop there. It was
Uh-huh.
not that I transformed and I had to work. I worked with people, and when I came back to India, I wanted to continue this journey. So I went to the founder of NLP, Dr. Richard Bandler, and did the training, 3 levels training with him. And I
Okay.
can tell you, life can be completely lived by choice. So yeah.
Great. Perfectly put here, Hema. And with regards to that, right, folks, all the audience listening out here. So, psychology again, with all whatever thoughts that might come to your mind, whatever bias that might come to your mind, explore. Everything is a science, everything is a concept. Explore that, go into it, then comment. That's what I would like to first put in here. Going to our second topic here, Hemaji, and most of our audience, especially my friends out there listening, NLP, the moment you say, they get confused. Oh, you mean chatbots and AI, that sector. So, what is NLP according to you? Is it an art? Is it science? Is it spirituality? What is the concept all about?
Okay. NLP stands for, to just clarify, it's not natural language process. And
Uh-huh.
thank you, Deepak, for mentioning the line before. There is no disrespect to other professions. Okay, just like Deepak said, everything works.
Mm-hmm.
Everything works when we are ready. That's the point.
True,
Okay.
true, true,
I
true.
was at a time when I was ready and it worked for me. So give a chance to everything. Don't think that this is cult, this is not good, don't do that. Now, coming back to the question of NLP. NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. In simple words, neuro means neural pathways, linguistics
Mm-hmm.
refers to language, programming means like computer programming. Okay, we're all
Mm-hmm.
programmed to work in a certain way because of the conditioning we live in this world. For example, we all generally, irrespective of which part of the world you come from, it is expected that at a certain age you should be married. At a certain age, you need to have a partner. At certain age, you should be parent. You should have a house. These are all
Uh-huh.
the conditioning we, depending on the community. It's just that the numbers might vary. Say if you are from India, you're expected to be, if you're a woman, you should be married before 26. If you are from America or Australia, you get married
Uh,
before at least 34, 35. And
hmm.
you should have your first child before this age. So the content of what we need to live is actually given by the conditioning of the society community we live in. That's the
Uh-huh.
programming. We've been
Okay.
programmed. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And our neural pathways are designed to only follow those pathways, those
Mm-hmm.
conditioning, those programming. But those can be changed
Mm-hmm.
effortlessly through language.
Okay.
By putting things in a certain way, by asking certain questions, by asking certain way of understanding things, you can change those pathways so your programming becomes different effortlessly.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
neuro linguistic programming is understanding how to create that programming using language. I can
Language.
tell you a lot more about it, but simply put, changing your programming of neural pathway through language.
Language.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Crisp and clear. So, hope you understood that, folks. If not, feel free to comment either live on YouTube, or you can put down afterwards in the comments also. We are more than happy to clarify that. And coming back to you, Hema, with regards to NLP. So, before that, let me go into another parallel concept. So, a profession where situations of life and death is very common. So we have seen a lot of FBI negotiators. We have seen a lot of CIA agents who are now teaching people how to negotiate, how to handle conflict, conflict management, etc. Similarly, our own Sachin Tendulkar, or not only him, take any athlete to that matter, all of them will have some lucky charm, some type of mental cues, or you can call it a talisman, anything. So, what is the secret behind that, or has any personality or any success stories with regards to NLP? Have you seen people using that? Any celebrities, etc.? Would you like to share any stories on that?
Definitely. There is two parts to your question. The first part I'm going to tell you about the, having some lucky charm.
Uh-huh.
See, we all had that. Think about it from your childhood. You might have thought that when I wear blue color,
Mm-hmm.
I get good marks in exams. Or if I wear this particular bracelet or bangle,
Okay.
we all had that. We all did actually.
True.
It's just a different things. You might have to listen to a certain word. And mine was when I was a little kid, when I was growing up, um,
Uh-huh.
like getting blessings from my mom. I won't fall on her feet for the whole year, but on the days of the exams, quickly fall on her feet and go. If I
Mm-hmm.
forget to fall on her feet, I would feel the exam is going to be pretty bad, and I do end up thinking that, oh my god, I've done a crappy job. The
Mm-hmm.
reason my grades are not good is because I didn't fail. So I used to, if even if I go very close to the school and I remembered I didn't fall on my mom's feet, I'll just come running back and do that. So
Mm-hmm.
all these things are called in NLP. It's a concept. It's called anchoring.
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 Okay.
It is as simple as, say for example, if you are extremely happy, okay,
Uh-huh.
so if you are very very happy one day, and like not just happy, very happy, and you have
Uh-huh.
all these like happy hormones in your body,
Okay.
serotonin, dopamine, they're like flowing in your body. And at that time, whatever you see or hear
Uh-huh.
or think in your head, they get attached. This hormone surge gets attached to what we see, hear, or think.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
after that, after years later, when you
Uh-huh.
see that thing, that is what you saw when the hormone surge were there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
When you see that thing, automatically you'll feel happy because they get attached.
Okay.
That
Okay.
creates this created that, but that creates this.
This.
So that is
Okay.
why if you listen to a childhood song, like the song that you
Uh-huh.
used to listen to when you were a child, you listen to it now, you just feel that some relaxation or some feeling in you. And this
Uh-huh.
can happen even with negative feelings. Okay, for
Okay.
example, if you are very upset or something happened in your life, some tragedy, and you really struggle with that, at that time, what you see, what you hear, what you think gets attached. So in
Okay, okay.
future, when you see that person or that object, you'll just get this fear, as if
Uh-huh.
tragedies, you're reliving the tragedy. Okay.
Okay.
And same way, so for example, if you wore a bracelet and that day
Uh-huh.
you actually won the match and you look at your bracelet and you felt happy, that bracelet
Okay.
becomes your lucky charm.
Okay, okay,
The
okay, okay,
bracelet
okay.
does not have the power to give you winning attitude, but putting the bracelet, you start creating those hormones that you feel powerful.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay, okay.
So this is called
Uh-huh.
anchoring, and anchoring technique is used by a lot of athletes and celebrities, and Jerry Seinfeld talks about it.
Oh,
Tony
okay.
Robbins talks about it. Tony Robbins does a lot of things that he uses NLP. NLP is his crux, and you would see he
Okay.
worked with Bill Clinton, Oprah Winfrey,
Wow. Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
VVIPs of the world. Okay,
Okay.
um, I worked with a cricketer named Ashwin. He plays for the First Division League of Tamil Nadu Premier League, and
Uh-huh.
did some work with him on NLP. And now he's working playing for the First Division, and he does still to this day says that NLP helps. After the NLP session, it helps him to face the ball more clearly and confidently.
Wow. Wow.
Performance
So
enhancement.
that's great. So we are talking about real sports,
Yeah,
techniques being used in real sports.
yeah.
Okay. Interesting, Emma. Interesting. So all this, so whatever you said, so those anchors can be changed, that can be modified, right? Is what you're saying.
You can create a new anchor and install it.
Okay.
Say,
Wow.
you can install a new anchor. You can collapse the anchor that is making you feel bad. You
Got
can
it.
do anything actually,
Got it.
as
Got
long
it.
as
Got
you're
it.
ready
Got it.
for it.
Got it. Perfect. Perfectly put. Perfectly put. And folks, just like Hema mentioned here, so we are talking about real cricketers using this. We are talking about presidents who are getting trained by coaches. But Tony Robbins also has this tagline, right? He says, "I'm not your coach." So we also have coaches who says he's not a coach training people. But let me give you two real life examples here. Okay. And these are again business related studies. So you might have all heard of father of PR, the first experiment where the Torch of Freedom march happened in USA. The campaign was by a cigarette company. It was to make all women smokers or consume a lot of cigarettes. If that power can be used for that thing, why not for betterment? I mean, I'm not against anyone, against any brands, no hard feelings to anyone. That is one. Second example. So a few of psychological researchers, they combined with behavioral economic scientists. What they did is they were studying fines. We pay fines, right, when we cross a signal, etc. So the fine was when parents, they have to bring their kids on time, right? So if suppose they were late, kids have to stand unnecessary either outside or they have to roam around, which is not a secure thing, and definitely for the child security it is not a good thing. So how can they change the behavior is what the school thought. Immediately someone suggested charge a fine. And the moment they started charging fines, parents were like more than happy. They were like, oh, okay, the fine is $100, the fine is $50, let me go 1 hour late. And now you are literally giving them a, what do you say, an option to pay and do whatever you want. They stopped the fine. They put all the other, what do you say, even more stricter rules. But people who went to that level are now, they continued in the same level. So whatever happened before the fine and after the fine didn't change. So this is definitely a powerful technique. I am giving you examples in the negative space, reason being behind this. If this could be happening in business, if this could be happening in economics, why not in your own life? Why not in our own life? In whatever field we are. That is the power. That is the power we are looking at. And Facebook is hiring thousands and hundreds of psychologists there. Not only engineers. If they were an engineering company, they would have hired engineers, hackers, etc. Why do they care about psychologists? Why do they care about linguists? Why do they care about anthropologists?
Use
That's the point.
simple thing, Deepak. Okay,
Uh-huh.
simple example. I'm telling you. Okay, say if you work in a company, okay,
Uh-huh.
and your CEO takes a walk across your floor,
Uh-huh.
okay, at 10 o'clock every morning. 10 o'clock every morning. How obedient will people be at 9:45? Right? Say
Perfect.
for 10 days the CEO doesn't take a stroll, but the
Uh-huh.
11th day he comes at 10 o'clock, what will happen? People think he takes random strolls, so let's be focused.
Okay.
You got
Perfect,
me?
perfect,
But
perfect,
why?
perfect.
It's a conditioning, it's anchored. Like
True.
you hear somebody run, you think, oh, maybe the CEO is here. You can put these conditions in people's mind. Maybe the CEO should take a stroll 3 hours, 3 times a day. That's it. And then
Got it.
whenever if somebody is standing and just loitering, they can just go and talk. The CEO doesn't have to do anything. What are you? Nothing. Just going and asking for some brilliant idea. Tell me, how can we improve this? Next time people won't loiter because they'll be scared. What if the CEO comes and asks me a question? Unless you want to be somebody who wants to answer. Got me. But what
Perfect,
little
perfect.
conditioning?
Definitely. So hope managers and all the business leaders out there hearing do use this technique. Of course, you might be using for others who are not. Please do look at that. And Hema, coming back to people like me, so people who are into the sales profession, entrepreneurs, we
Right.
have to literally think on our feet.
Right.
Every day, as I mentioned to you, life is like a hostage negotiation for us. Either
Right.
we do it or we are out of it.
Right.
So in such a situation, how do you think can NLP help? How does NLP help a salesperson, or how can it help an entrepreneur according to you?
Okay. There are so many ways sales can NLP can help in sales, but few basics that we all, I'm sure you
Uh-huh.
all know it, but I'm just going to repeat it. Few basics about salespeople. Number one, you know that people buy from you only when they like you. Yes or no?
Mm,
You all will agree with me, yes? And people usually like people who are like us.
mm,
Think about it. Okay? If you are going through the same pain and I understand your pain, you will buy from me. We like people who are like us. That's the basis for selling. People have to like you and trust you to be able to buy from you. Number
mm,
two, you need to have very thick skin. You cannot get offended by, say, if I walked one of the like someone I know in my personal life, beautiful salesman. He told me when he was selling encyclopedias back in 1990s. Okay, encyclopedia was huge. He would walk into this government office and he would try to sneak into all these officers rooms to sell the encyclopedia, and one of the officers caught him and said, get out of here, you little rascal or
uh-huh.
whatnot, and then called the security. The security came and grabbed his collar and just literally pushed him out of the gates. This happened, okay?
Okay,
And that boy
okay.
went and called his manager and said, "Sir, from tomorrow I'm not coming to work." And he had tears, and I'm never going to come. He was only 19, okay? This is quite an insult.
Mm-hmm.
So according to him, it's quite an insult. Sorry. So he called his manager and said, "Sir, I'm not going to go. That's it." And the manager asked this one question: is that all it takes for somebody to break your dreams? Someone touches your collar and you give up.
Got
Good
it.
luck with your life. And the boy said, like, what do you mean? He said, if you want to show people how strong you are, if you want to show to yourself how strong you are, tomorrow morning go to the same office. First look at the security guy and say, good morning, sir. I'm back here. Sir, tell me a
Mm,
good time. Look at him in his face and talk to him. Show him that his words and actions didn't stop you. And the boy said that was the best piece of advice. Now he's not a boy, he's a grown up man with multi million business running around him.
wow.
And he said that was
Okay.
a golden rule I learned. Do you guys agree? As salesperson, you can't be affected by little things. People are in different moods, different mindset, and they are going to say things that are relevant for their situation, not for your situation. Okay. So for these two things, I'm going to tell you how NLP will help you. Number one, to make people think that you are like them so that they
Mm-hmm.
can like you need to build rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful rapport with people. How do you build rapport? There are a lot of rapport building techniques.
Mm-hmm.
One simple thing, as I said, if I want to build rapport with Deepak, and Deepak is designed to think in a certain way. Remember the programming I told you? One of the programming is
Yes.
called meta programs. We are born with certain programs in our life, okay?
Uh-huh.
So let me ask Deepak this question.
Uh,
Deepak, if
yeah.
I told you that you're going to, you won a ticket to go to Paris, you can take
Wow.
3 people with you.
Uh-huh.
You can go anytime you want within the next 6 months. What will be your
Okay.
questions to me? What will you ask me in reply? Any
Well,
question? Yeah,
in next 6 months, right?
yeah.
What is the soonest I can fly? Probably.
Excellent.
Can I get a
Excellent.
leave? And How many days? That's it.
Okay,
So immediately I will be in Paris, like, okay, what next? What next?
excellent. So that is Deepak's way of thinking. So now, how is Deepak thinking? The moment he gets something, he immediately experiences that and he goes there. Okay,
Uh-huh.
he thinks the big picture. He
Mm-hmm.
thinks about being there. If he's a feeler, he feels there and then he goes there and he starts imagining living in Paris. Okay, how soon can I go? There would, if the same thing I told some people, some of you who are listening, you might be asking, why did I win? What's the
Oh.
catch in that?
Ah,
How many days am I going? Are you going to pay for my accommodation as well? Are you paying for my expenses as well?
okay, got it.
And all, so these things, they are details thinker. They
Mm-hmm.
need details. So if I'm going to talk to Deepak, if I'm selling something to Deepak, I'll be talking big picture. I'll be talking about the benefits. I'll be talking about the experience you can get. With Deepak, I will not start with details. I will not sell a
Okay.
car by telling him this has got this much mileage, blah 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 blah. No, no, no.
Hmm.
Picture yourself driving a Audi versus driving a low budget car. When you are
Mm-hmm.
stepping out into your customer's office, the customer watches you from the window. He sees this guy gets out, he knows he's got a classy person. This is all
Hmm.
talk. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong, but I'm just talking his language because he's a big picture thinker. You guys with me? Now, to a person who is interested in details, I will never talk like this. They will
Hmm.
never buy from me. To a person who is into details, I'll sit and talk about. If I'm going to sell a car, I'll ask them, what is your budget? What are the things that are important for you? Tell me. Whatever
Uh-huh.
they tell me, and I will answer each one of them. I won't tell them think about it going to customers. They'll immediately say, well, I don't want such customers. I don't deal with such customers,
Hmm.
and they won't buy from me. So meta programs are a way to understand people's world, and then you have to talk according to their world, not according to your world. So that is a beautiful thing that salespeople, and that's the first thing. Rapport building is people will buy from you only if they like you, only if they trust you. You need to be
Okay.
somebody that they can trust, they can fall in love with, like you are an amazing person. You understand my situation, and to do that, meta programs helps you. How do you understand people's meta programs? From the way they talk. You ask a question. There are a set of questions you can ask. You ask a question, they give you an answer. You know what meta program they're operating from. You start from the meta program and then bring them into details or big picture depending on what is necessary. Okay.
Hmm.
Number two, you second thing I told you, you have to have a thick skin. What does
Hmm.
thick skin mean? If I say Deepak, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach, I send materials to people regularly. Do you think everybody will say yes every time? Not at all.
Hmm.
But the day somebody says, Hema, stop sending me these materials, this is irritating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what can I do? I got offended and I can get upset and I can feel like, why am I doing this? Why is this necessary for me? Why is it happening to me? I can do all these things. Or I have the choice to separate the person from their behavior. That
Mm-hmm.
person is still an amazing person, but this behavior of them is relevant to that particular day. So address the behavior. Don't
Mm-hmm.
dislike the person, because if the person is saying that you are a horrible person, I'll attach, oh my God, I'm horrible. Nah, that behavior, they think I'm horrible today because I'm sending this. When I separate
Hmm.
behavior from person, please understand very clearly. Separate people from behavior, that gives you the freedom to address the behavior, not the person. So that
Okay.
will help me not to think that people hate me. It's just that there are certain days I need to do different way of marketing. That behavior needs to be changed. Not
Yes.
I have to sell. Come on.
Got
They
it.
will fall in love with me someday. It's just that I need to find which way I have to sell.
Got
Okay.
it.
And not just this, there are a lot of techniques as well. There are a lot of mind techniques that you can use to come out of this feeling of like feeling low very quickly. You can change things very quickly. You can use techniques, you can use meta model questions, you can use a array of things, because end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
everything is programming, not real.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
your subjective
Hmm.
experience. We don't see the real world, we experience the
Got
world
it.
in a certain way. So you can change that.
Perfect. Well put. Well put here, Hema. Again, folks, hope you could go through that. If not, feel free to comment. We are more than happy to again put it to you. And we'll also take a Q&A at the end of the session. But before that, coming here, Hima, one thing I wanted to clarify, because this is, say, like another confusion that is going around, especially as a trend in today's times or common question in today's time. when you talk about the meta programs, right? So you mentioned about my personality. This is someone. So immediately people's mind would have been, or our audience might have been divided into, oh, okay, we should not be a dreamer, right? Or should we calculate first? Should we control our emotions? Man, what should I do? So what is right and what is wrong according to you?
Real answer, okay? People, all of you who are listening,
Uh-huh.
real answer is there is nothing right, nothing wrong. It is absolutely context specific. And also, I'm going to make it very clear. Just because Deepak is big picture when it comes to traveling doesn't mean Deepak is big picture in all areas of life. In
Hmm.
health, in making money, in profession, in relationships, in probably even in traveling, little things, from going from A to B. He might not be big picture in all areas. So do not put people in a box and say this is who they are.
Hmm.
Address them the way they appear to you at that time.
Super.
At that
Perfect.
time. So that's my answer. If it makes sense to you, there is nothing
Definitely,
right or
definitely,
wrong.
Hema.
Work with what appears at that time and get the best at that time. That's all.
Perfect. Perfectly put. And one thing I would also add in as a salesperson's experience here, people, especially salespeople listening out to here, and especially if you're into account management or B2B sales and enterprise sales, we all know people. We take a company and we research them, correct? And brothers and sisters, we also do one more thing. We take our product, we study that. So hence we can portray it to them better. We do one more thing. So people who are say like experienced salesperson, they will do one more thing. Call up that particular person, have basic conversation with him or people in and around him to understand what are his KPIs. Third type of people. Sorry, third type of thing we do. Fourth person, especially if you are in a big ticket sales, like say probably you're selling to the BCCI or probably you're selling to the Tatas or our government defense and so on. Here you will do one more thing. Be even more closer with the decision maker and try to understand his likes and dislikes. That you will also do. One thing we are all missing out in this complete context is, as Hema rightly put, there are two factors which we have to start from the bottom up. Bottom up and top down is all important in sales. As a salesperson, you know that. Here, we forget to think bottom up. What is bottom up? You are the bottommost person because you are the person going to stand there and speak. Understand yourself first. Do you like talking? If not, what can you do? What if the other person likes talking a lot? What if other person doesn't like talking a lot? What if the other person likes numbers a lot? Do you know that? Do you don't know that? First start with you. Second, other person, you might get his likes and dislikes, but you will go through the material way. In the presentation, you might see, is he swallowing something? Is he happy? Is he excited? Is he angry? Is he bored? That you can understand as all human beings. We are all human beings, right? Unless and until you're too excited or on Red Bull or you're too tired. Majority of us will be able to guess that. One more thing we need to guess. This is where open-ended question helps you a lot. Through open-ended question, just like Hema rightly put, you'll be able to find whether he is a big picture thinker or whether he is a detailed person. Is he mentioning more about himself? Say an example, boss, show me what is in it for me. Or is he putting someone else? What should I say to my boss? Or how do you think this will fit for our accounts team? Catch words perfectly and properly, folks. Again, as Emma also rightly mentioned, be thick skinned. So do not worry, you're not stalking him. You're just trying to help him better. Because a salesperson means you're his thought partners. Boss, you're his thought partners. You're his friend. Whoever you are, he should be able to pick up the phone and speak to you. If you have not done, you have not sold. You have to sell yourself first, then only you have to sell the product. Sorry for taking your time, Hema. Again, coming back to you. One more thing, again, I would like to stress on the being thick skinned part. So let me just put it like this. Okay. And also for anyone. So no hard feelings to anyone, not to hurt anyone. Hema, what if you mentioned Richard Bandler, right? Who was the founder of NLP? What if he gets angry due to some weird reasons? Say an example, he says anything, and he revokes your license. He says you cannot do NLP from now on. He rejects you from the field entirely. This can happen to anyone. Or what if your physiotherapy organization rejects you? How will you feel that? How will you handle that? Just an example. Please don't take it personally. No dramatic things here. An example, because the first sale in any field, however experienced that person, frankly speaking, that is how it feels. So
Okay.
first, more than first sale, the first rejection. So how will you handle that one?
Okay. To answer that question, I'm going to start with the NLP presupposition that NLPers hold. When I say NLPers presupposition, it's the belief that NLPers hold strongly. Okay. The world is not impoverished, but the world we create inside could be impoverished. I'm going to repeat it with an explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Outside world is
Mm-hmm.
rich. It's always rich.
Hmm.
Bandler might reject me, NLPS can reject me, uh, Tata Birla can reject me, Physiotherapy Association, you can reject me. Okay? But in the same world, there will be a group of people who will love me. There will be a group of people who will be in my shoes who want me to be like this lady who is carrying the baton for them and prove that it doesn't matter. You don't live for other people. Live. So there is a group. But this is why I'm saying the world is rich. There is
Hmm.
both sides everywhere. But what goes inside will make you decide whether you're feeling miserable or happy.
Okay.
We don't take in the reality. We take in a little teeny tiny chunk of the reality and we create our reality inside. The experience that we create inside is the reason I feel good or bad. Is that clear now? Does it make
Okay.
sense, Deepak?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
all
Got
have
it.
rejected me, but now what I take in? If I'm going to take in the bits where you said no, Bandler said no, these people, then what am I taking inside? The bits where people said
Okay.
no to me.
Okay.
And obviously, my experience of this world will be this world is horrible.
Hmm.
And no wonder I'm going to feel miserable. Yes or no? Think
Got it.
about it. If I
Got it.
put you
Got
in
it.
a room, tie you to a chair, and everywhere there is darkness, and I play a movie, and in that movie, everybody kills everyone, everyone cheats everyone. That's the
Hmm.
movie you're watching front to back 10 times. You come out of the room, you're going to think everybody is a cheater and liar.
Got it.
But outside the door, there's a different world, but you can't see it because you have blinkers on. So
Hmm.
same world. If I choose to look at the people who have been rejected by Bandler and still did well, people who've been rejected by Deepak still doing well, then what will be my experience? Wow, now I'm going to create a niche.
Okay.
I did not think I had a niche. Now I have created, you have shown me the path to create a niche.
Hmm.
And I could be the queen of rejections. And you know
Hmm.
what? I'll have a bigger market than the rest of you. You know why? Because rejections are more common than successes. It's how
Got
I
it.
take it. And as I said in NLP, remember the presupposition. The
Uh-huh.
reality has no impact on you, but the experience you create inside will create your world.
Create.
So
Okay.
it's okay for people to reject me, but I'm just not going to take those information inside.
Okay. So
And
we
there's a
should
lot more
not.
I can, Deepak.
Super.
It's actually as what you take inside will make your world. Because the whole
Okay.
world
Okay.
is completely rich. What you take inside can make you feel miserable or feel super happy. And you were right. It's all about how what you take in, and you can choose to change what you take in. That's the beauty. A lot of people will tell you, but what do you mean? Somebody called me an idiot. I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed.
Hmm.
In front of everybody, they called me an idiot. Even if you were in my shoes, you would have thought like this. Well,
Yeah.
why? Because that's how we condition, we believe it. But I'm going to tell you the same thing. You know what? If somebody calls me an idiot, I'm going to start a company called Kings of Idiots, Kings and Queens of Idiots. I'm going to start a
Okay.
new brand. Now, you know what? I became the CEO of Idiots. That's what you take inside.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Perfectly put, Heba. So I mean, of course, we understand that it's you help people according to say like what condition they are or what experiences they are undergoing, but this example will help a lot of people. So this is where professionals like Hema, coaches like Hema help you a lot, folks. So whatever field you are in, whatever path you are in, this is where people like her can help you, be it rejections if suppose you're facing, because even we, when we shift our career or whenever we are moving into a new company or a new industry, these things will come up. If we are not prepared in the right way, it can be a heavy burden. hindrance. Frankly speaking, it can be a hindrance not only to your growth, but your future works and efforts and endeavors that you're putting also. So coming back to business leaders here, Hema. So all the CEOs, general managers, team leads, etc., listening out there. So what would you like to tell to them? Because one thing I have seen it a lot. So people, so the team is there. They have themselves personally hired them, but then they realize, because not with one or two interviews you cannot fully know a person. I mean, I may be right, I may be wrong, but once a team is in place, all of them, as you rightly mentioned, will be in a different states of mind and different states of behavior, meta programs, etc. There might be some fast learners, some slow learners, etc. But in sales, as a sales leader, the person always has two biggest engines to balance, just like a flight. So one side of the engine is his sales target. He has to achieve that number always on his one part of the brain. Another part is always like, I have to maintain all these people. We can't keep go on hiring and firing, correct? If suppose things are not working out. So what can we do here? So this is always on their mind. So how can NLP help here? How can a coach and leader like you help people in better team management, in improving their team efficiency? How does this concept help people, team leaders?
Okay. There are multiple ways to help. Again, training is a beautiful way, one-to-one coaching is a beautiful way.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, what we'll be working on is separating emotions from logic. When you
Okay.
put it together, when you put people and tasks together, you'll have a difficult time to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody doesn't perform and you call them an underperformer, you can never change them.
Got it.
You need to find what aspects, like separate that person. That person probably is brilliant. That person is coming to work. That person is able to navigate the traffic in India, which itself is a talent. Come on. It's a talent.
Correct.
So they are talented. It's not like they're not talented. The only thing is, this particular methodology of teaching something is not working. This particular aspect is not working for us, somebody who is brilliant. So we need to find it, separate logic, separate people, separate tasks from the emotions. And
Mm.
this is where coaches will come in and help you. It's not a training that only you, as a manager and leader, you have to. Because there are times when you have to fire people. I'm sorry to say, but we live in a world where if you don't make a profit, if you don't make profit, how would you feed other people? And I mean, I never want a world like that. You know, I would rather say that if there's not enough money, let's all share what we have. Let's all have
Mm.
50% pay cut. That's my ideology, my world. Okay, doesn't mean that that's the world everybody needs to live. There
Mm.
might be in your world where you are working, operating for a company, working as a manager for a company, where you've been told that from your team you have to drop three people.
Mm.
Three people are not performing. So now you are in the dilemma of what do I do? The point is, again, here I'll say the same thing. If people cannot perform, you don't dislike the people, but the task is not right for them.
Mm.
You either
Got
work
it.
a way to work the task for them or help them to mold into something that they are good at.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up in the drama, emotional drama.
Mm.
Okay? In terms of sales, particularly, when you're dealing with people, everybody can sell. If you don't trust me, you would have heard the movie about the movie The Wolf of Wall Street,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Gordon
yes,
Belfort.
yes.
Whether he is good or not, ethically he's right or wrong, it's all, I'm not going there, okay?
Mm.
But everybody will agree that he's an exceptional salesperson. And you know what? It's recorded. He made $51 million in a year, and he called it a failure because there are 52 weeks, and I only made 51 million. I missed out on one. And you should have asked. The surprising bit is, he did not have a sales team with 10 years experience or 15 years experience.
Uh-huh.
People who are working for him were people from the age group of 18 to 24.
Mm.
They don't even have life experience, let alone sales experience.
Got
With them, he made this money. So now, if you're going to tell me that I have people who are not good enough, I'm sorry to say. You have to find a way to train people. If an 18-year-old person can hit a sales target of 1 million, the point is how,
it.
like, this is where Jordan Belfort's training is also about. Okay, how do you handle rejection? How do you
Mm-hmm.
handle objection? Where do you
Okay.
come from? You don't fall down, you just need to find a way to get inside. And as a
Okay.
manager, my job is to get inside the heads of my team, not
Okay.
giving them up, not letting them go, working with them. One way doesn't work, find another way. And to do that, you need to know some of these core subjective experience or programming needs to be changed. And that's where
Okay.
NLP comes in.
Got it.
Unless you are flexible, the most flexible person rules the world. Say,
Mhm.
for example, you're going straight road and there is a block, you come back, you're never going to move forward. If you're going to sit and cry, you're never going to move forward. Or if you keep saying that someday this tree will disappear, rot, and then I'll move forward, you're going to be stuck there for 40 years maybe. But what can you do? You find a way around it, or you carve a pathway in between. That's pretty much what NLP does.
Perfect. 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 And this is the first time that I am hearing there's a training for rejections also, as you mentioned with regards to Gordon. So interesting, pretty interesting. So, folks, these are the things that we need to learn. So, even be it wherever you are from, north, south, or across the globe, all of us have heard that our kings and emperors they had a separate training. So, the 62 different skills which is mentioned in our literatures, all of them they had such oratory skills, such rhetoric skills on handling emotions, on handling failures, handling rejections. More focus was given here to the mind and brain. Now we are like, it should come to you default. Are you not strong? Doesn't come default by boss. So you have to practice. Be it conflict, be it sales, you have to practice. So very well put here, Hema. So interesting concept. Again, folks, any questions, any doubts, feel free to put it in the comments. We will be quickly looking at it. And here, keeping note of time, coming to you with another question, Hema, now, but from the other side of the table. So we have amazing salesperson, just as you mentioned. We have people who are really thought partners who are now becoming live friends of the client. So even after the person has left the company, the client is still calling up and say an example. Many of my own client have messaged me the moment I said I'm not with the particular company. They're like, okay, Deepak, please keep us updated. Where are you? What is your next thing? If you're planning to start up, feel free to let us know. So these are the things we speak, and these are the connection that we have. But this is not the case always. All of us, we have bought something or the other which we never need, and it could be a bigger decision like a job also sometimes. So in such a case, how do you suggest, or what would be your advice in saying no assertively, more professionally, more probably diplomatically or politely? Because that is a very important skill, I feel personally, which we need. Because as you know, people would have sold to you, right, Hema? As a
Yes.
salesperson, we know how to sell to you. In that case, how will you say no? And how should we learn to say no? How can NLP help in that?
To say no, okay? Anybody who values themselves will know how to say no. You can
Hmm.
write it down somewhere if anybody wants to hear it. If you value yourself, you will say no. If you value your time, you'll be comfortable saying no. Third, most important things, you need to know what is your non-negotiable and negotiable conditions or
Okay.
rules. In NLP, we call it as the distortions in meta model question. We
Hmm.
all have some complex equivalence, which means we put two complex things together and we say that's equal. For example, hard work equals success. Waking up
Hmm.
early means success. Is it
Hmm.
always the same? I'm not going to go into depth of NLP, so that's not the scope of this discussion. But
Hmm.
I'm saying the rules that we all have certain rules in our head, okay?
Hmm.
If you know your rules clearly, it helps you easily to say no. For example, let's just say I'm going to help you here with this particular situation with an example, okay? The first thing I said is if you value yourself,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
If I've got a bad headache, okay,
Hmm.
and somebody that I know in my house or in my professional space, they are saying, Hema, you are the only one who can solve this problem. Without you, we cannot deal with it. You are the only one who can solve this problem. And I go and solve that problem. My headache gets really worse. I'm not able to sleep. 3 days, I lose my days. Are you valuing yourself?
Hmm.
Number two, same situation. I want to say no, but then I end up saying yes. What
Hmm.
does it mean? You have just trained the other person that even though you say no the first time, then I push you, you'll just end up saying yes because you don't have anything else to do at home.
Got it.
And it's not them they made the rule, I told them.
Hmm.
Oh, no. Okay, let me do it.
Got
Start to
it.
explain them that I don't value my time. I really don't have anything else to do. So I didn't value
Hmm.
my time. Number three, if they ask, what are you going to do when you go home? Nothing. Done. Job done. You're going to do nothing anyway, do this. I have a really bad headache. Let me get you a medicine and some water and some coffee. That will fix you. What's non negotiable? I did not know. I don't know what is non negotiable. Anything is okay
Okay.
for me. So, in the same situation, I'm going to tell you a different version, okay? If I don't get well within few hours, my 3 days are going to be screwed up. Let alone
Hmm.
helping this person, I won't be able to help myself from tomorrow. Anybody, even this person, if I can't solve this problem today, I won't be coming to work tomorrow. So I have to prioritize myself. Even if you get me coffee or green tea or whatnot, my answer is no. Until this disappears, I can't see. I'm sorry, my eyes doesn't work.
Got it.
But Hema, what are you going to do when you get home? I'm just going to sit in front of TV, do nothing. But that's
Hmm.
important for me. In a
Got it.
day when my brain works completely, there is a time reset. Just like charging the mobile, I need to recharge.
Hmm.
Until then, I can't do anything. I valued my time. My me time doing nothing is my time. I don't have to justify it. But if I don't value, others won't
Okay.
value. They can in fact tell you behind your back or to your face, Hema doesn't do anything at home, but she doesn't stay here. Well, that not doing anything is important for me.
Hmm.
That's my time. Number three, what's non-negotiable? There are three things that's non-negotiable for me. Number one, my health. I cannot run down my
Hmm.
health. Number two, my family. My family time starts
Hmm.
at 7 o'clock every night. And at that time, unless
Hmm.
there is some absolute emergency in the world, I'm not going to leave my family.
Hmm.
Number three, my study time. Unless
Hmm.
go home by 7 o'clock, spend time with family for 3 hours, I won't have 1 hour time to study something at night because if I
Hmm.
don't keep myself up to date, I can't improve my skills. So now I've got these three rules. I don't have to tell you all these rules, okay?
Hmm.
Now tell me, if someone comes and tells me, Hema, you have to stay back. This is very urgent. This is important. Just with this third rule, what will I say? My question will be, what's so urgent? Because I told you, remember my non-negotiable is
Hmm.
that can be negotiable if it's emergency. No,
Hmm.
this client called me and this is the deadline. Today is the deadline.
Hmm.
It's already past 5 o'clock, so even if you submit it, they're not going to see it tomorrow, so it can wait. No, no, no. They said they'll wait till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I've got 15 minutes time. If there's anything I can do it in 15 minutes, I'll do it. But Hema will lose a big client. There are other people in the team who can work, who do night shifts. Give it to them.
Hmm. Got it.
But Hema, you have to. You're not a team player. I'm a team
Uh-huh.
player. That's why I'm doing this because I need. If I'm not well tomorrow, I can't work effectively in this work in this job. Okay,
Perfect.
I'm
Perfect.
not going to
Perfect.
pay my time for your incompetence.
Hmm.
Not rudely, but I'm telling you that's the rule I've set for myself. That's non-negotiable.
True.
Okay. Two
True.
times they might think Hema is very rude, very bad, but third time they won't disturb me because they respect that I respect myself.
True. 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 True.
Okay.
Rightly put. Rightly put. So, as first point that Hema mentioned, value yourself, boss. If you don't value yourself, no one is going to respect yourself. If you don't do, no one else is going to respect you. Second, value your time. Third one, have those values or have those pointers which are not
Non-negotiable things
negotiable.
in your head about who you are.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
And I'm telling you, all these are why am I saying it's it's just subjective experience. In my shoes, somebody else might have completely different sets of rules in this situation.
Hmm.
Neither
Hmm.
they are wrong, not I'm wrong. If you want to
Got
say
it.
no, follow me. If you want to say yes, follow them. It's up to you, whatever makes you happy. But if
Got
your
it.
point is you need to say no sternly, because what will happen is I'll give you reasons which tell me, Hema, why can't you stay back? I've got A, B, C to do. No one else
Hmm.
will do it for me. But if you don't have those non-negotiables in your mind, Hema, if no, who will help me? Okay. Or if you think that you are just a others can manage, you'll just call your family and ask them to do the extra work. But you know what, every day there's going to be extra work they're going to be doing because once you train other people that I don't value my
True.
time, it's going to be everyday stuff.
Rightly put. Rightly put. And this is very important, people, because please note this down. These are important aspects of your career. Many places you will be facing such situations. That is where coaches like Hema and professionals like Hema come into play. they are like the mentors who will help you cutting down the trees or will help you make sure your path is easy to navigate. Because when you're facing such situation, as Hema rightly put, these are non-changeable things. You cannot hit the refresh or you cannot hit the backspace easily here, because the person has been programmed. I mean, of course you can, but it will be a bit harder. That is where techniques that she has mentioned here will definitely help you. Three important things, folks. First, value yourself, value your time. Whatever is your important aspects of life, never negotiate that. Non-negotiable things, what are your non-negotiable things? Have that ready and speak accordingly, behave accordingly, win accordingly. In
And it will
sales,
be
that is what
easy to say
matters.
no. I don't have to teach you how to say no. When you have these things lined up, it will be very easy to say no. You won't even have any issues.
Superb. Really interesting, Hema. So, many of these say like pointers, so it's really new to me and new to this audience also. So how do you I mean, what is this path
Just correct
about?
one thing there,
Yeah.
Deepak, just one thing, okay? To
Uh-huh.
all those people who are listening from the other side of the fence, who think that
Uh-huh.
this work is so important, this person, because they listen to Hema, they're leaving at 5 o'clock, the backlog is setting up. So my question is, think the resources that you've got there. Instead of thinking that
Okay.
Hema's training doing it, think about it. Why does always somebody has workload at 5 o'clock? If it is stand at 5 o'clock, then maybe your timing should not be from 9 to 5. Make it from
Mm,
11 to 7,
got it.
and hire people who can work at that time. Or people are not working effectively or efficiently during the time they've got. If you are completely focused, you can do a work in 20 minutes. Like great idea, great meetings end up. You can complete it in 23 minutes. If you want to just talk about, except brainstorming meetings, that's different, that the whole reason for
Mhm.
brainstorming is timing, okay? But other meetings, 23 minutes, get it done. If people are focused, people are there who are speaking up, people who are clarifying questions, 23, 24, 25, done. But if
Superb.
you don't know what people are coming, I don't know, they're just taking notes. They didn't prepare for the meeting. That's where they in the meeting only they're asking, why am I in the meeting? Of course, it's going to go for 2 hours.
Got it.
Effective
Got it.
efficiency.
Efficiency. Perfect. Amazing, Emma. Amazing. So, I mean, how to pursue this path? So, what you said is really interesting, and we want to get trained here. Especially, I want to know about the art of handling rejections more, objections more, and persuasions and influencing better. So, how do you think can I take this path? Is there any certifications or trainings, etc., available in NLP? How to go about it?
Absolutely. There are a lot of courses available in NLP in the coaching
Uh-huh.
pathway. Right now, I just started a new course on yesterday morning, 7-week
Oh,
program on
okay.
rejections redefined. So
Uh-huh.
there are courses, and NLP Foundation or NLP Practitioner course is a golden course.
Okay.
Okay, and I would suggest everybody to consider that doing it. Doesn't matter what profession you're coming from, it will teach you how to use your
Hello.
thinking more effectively.
Okay.
Can,
So,
can you hear me, Deepak?
extremely sorry. Can you please repeat the last part once again? I guess we lost you there. Yeah.
NLP practitioner course,
Uh-huh.
or if you don't have time for practitioner course, at least some kind of foundation course will
Uh-huh.
teach you how to think differently. How to, it
Okay.
will show you how your brain is working for you. You can change any programs, any conditioning. So from my
Okay.
company, I run programs called NLP Foundation Workshop, NLP Practitioner course, and lot of leadership courses, negotiation courses,
Uh-huh.
rejection handling courses, how
Mm-hmm.
to speak in public, just a
Mm-hmm.
program for meta programs, only meta
Oh,
programs, nothing else.
okay. Okay.
So all these programs are on my website, www.panaceavalley.com, or they can
Uh-huh.
check it on the Facebook, Panacea Valley Consulting.
Okay.
Panacea Valley Consulting is my website, is my Facebook page and Insta. And apart from that, just go online and Google. Just type it
Uh-huh.
in Google. And I should tell you here, Deepak, I haven't been very good with my digital marketing. You know that I'm engaging digital marketers now. So,
Yeah. Get the sense. More than happy to help you here anytime. Bhushanam.com is the site for that. Feel free to let me know. More than happy to help you.
so
So, folks, hope you heard that. It is first is rejection redefined, amazing course and a perfect one with sales folks we need. Second one is NLP Foundation and NLP Master Practitioner. So these are the three courses which you can do. And apart from that, Meta Programs is one thing which Hema is running. Her company is called Panacea Valley Consulting. I'll be putting the link also in the comments below. You have a look. Feel free to contact her. and anything, any help, anything you needed, coaching, mentoring, etc., we are here to help you guys. So that is the reason why we had this, and specifically only on sales. Reason being behind that is, I feel it is one of the 62 skills which our forefathers and kings learned. You need to learn. You need to sell yourself anytime, even to the god. Okay. So wrapping up here with, let us take the Q&A first. Just give me a moment. Let me pull up that. Okay. Just a moment. Oh yes, Vasi sir is suggesting that Edison succeeded only after 10,000 failed attempts. That's great. That's great. So amazing, folks. So as of now, I don't see any questions. So feel free to put it here, people. We are here to answer that anytime later also. Okay. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks a lot for joining, folks. Thanks a lot for joining us, Hema. Nandri, Vanakkam. Thanks, everyone. Have a great time, and have a
Have
great
a great
weekend.
one.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.